So I'm going to go over some of the prompts that I use for hands. For the last video I had done on improving the hands, I had to go back to a different version, but now that I'm in version 4, I don't want to go backwards. So I did a lot of trials with different prompts, and I liked them, so I should say I rated them in Midjourney. So I kind of started to learn what it is I expected when I put in hand. So I'm going to go through the different prompts that I run through. So the first time I would have run this, it would have come out really bad. So it's a big improvement. Seeing the 4 fingers here and the 1 thumb. So one thing I had done wrong, so I kind of stopped rating them because you'll see here this hand looks kind of backwards. So I accidentally rated a hand that was backwards. So the fingers were the wrong way to the palm, and it's kind of been my downfall ever since. So every time I have to watch out and look to make sure that the hands are actually facing the right way, the hands, the palm, and the fingers. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the first one I already ran, so that was just hand. So hand, the next is hand concept sketch. Okay, so then hand anatomy, hand design, hand study, finger study, static hand gesture. So these are the ones that have worked for me so far when trying to get hands. So I'll show you different things because it kind of changes with the way you add some words and descriptions after. Okay, so now we'll go back through, go to the beginning, and you'll just see the difference. Okay, so this was the hand. Okay, now hand concept sketch. This one is not looking very great. It typically does look better than this, but I don't see a very well-defined hand. So what I typically do when I run it, and if I want to improve it, I just rerun it. And I often find that I get something better. Okay, so hand anatomy was one of the better ones typically. It seemed to have more accurate idea of what was expected with the number of fingers to the thumb. Okay. All right, so eventually I want to show you how I add people in it, because whenever I did it just with somebody and saying that I wanted to do a hand pose, it just fell apart. All right, so this one is a hand study. This is finger study. As you can see, not all of them are looking too great. Static hand gesture. This is a better one. Okay, this was the rerun of the hand concept sketch. So you see here, it started to get an idea or pick up on something better. All right, so the next stage, what I would do after this is I add more detail. Typically, I would have upscaled this, and then I would have rated it. But see, okay, so another catch here. See, right away, I see fingernails here. I hadn't noticed that a while ago, so this was a problem of what I rated previously. So I always have to watch out for that now. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. All right, so this part, I added more description to see if it can improve. The way you typically want to do is when you get the first run, try to rerun it to see if your hands improve. If it doesn't, add more detail. So this is now adding more detail. All right. And so we're going to try and clarify for the AI so that it can have a better idea of what to do. Oops. Got the imagine there. I am using of what I'm allowed. Okay. All right. Oh, that just occurred to me. I did not see the henna design in the first ones. Let's see if it ever ran. Okay, it's still going very slowly. Okay, so the henna design actually was another one where it was actually quite a bit more accurate when it came to the number of fingers and with a thumb. Okay, so here we are. Let me go back to the where we added more info. All right, so left hand. So this was typically what I would be getting just with the hand alone. All right, so left hand concept sketch. Didn't always get it right, but then this is when I started to see that it was starting to improve on the formation for the hand because I gave it extra information. All right, so this one too. That's left hand anatomy. All right, so now you see here left hand and a design. It's not always the left hand. It does sometimes switch it out. Okay, so left hand study didn't do too great a job. So again, for something like this, let me rerun it. And often you find that it does get better in the next run. Okay, so this was the henna design. I'll move down here. And we have the left hand finger study. This, I would again rerun it. I won't rerun it now because it'll make this process a little bit long. All right, so let's see. This was a rerun of the left hand study. So you see, it looks like it's about to add another finger there. Previously we had the 3. So I find that with reruns, it does gradually start to improve. So now I want to go into the next part where now it starts being a lot more specific of what I was looking for. Okay, so we'll start by running these. I might just only run a few since you pretty much have the idea now of what is involved with these. Okay, so because I want to get to the part where you actually have people in there. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so I'm going to slow down with running that now. Okay, so again, you have to just look at what is coming up. So the anatomy one is kind of falling apart, but so I would have picked that one, upscaled. So I would rate the program for what it does well. If I see it's not doing it well, then I wouldn't rate it. Okay, so You can see more examples here. Okay, but I want to get to part of how I actually ended up getting what I needed. All right, so we'll try with female models, smiling and waving. So you'll see. No, you never know. Sometimes it works. Okay, so then we'll try with these ones. And so all hand concept sketch. Then now I try and add all of this detail in. Okay, all right, so you can see already it's given some better ones. So when I see stuff like that, again, upscale and rate it. So let's upscale this one. I can already kind of see from this that there might be something unusual with the upscale, but let's try it anyway. And that's number 2. Okay, so one problem with the anatomy one is it does like to actually give more on the anatomy side. Okay, so something like this, I would definitely rerun it because those hands are looking not great. Okay. So you see again here, and I look for the one that's fast. So I quite like this one. We'll upscale it to see if it comes out nice. This one, the hand is backward. And then I would also rerun it. Sometimes it tends to get better, I've noticed, on the next rerun. But if you run it too many times, I've noticed it kind of just falls apart. All right, so let's add some more. So what I would do now, where you see we're waving, I would try different gestures, like thumbs up sign, fist, and then that's how I came to have all those images. Okay, so it's still trying to run a few because it's telling me I've exceeded the count. Okay, there. I'll come back to that one. Okay, so I have a lot of stuff going on here, but so let me go back to this one. So I don't know if you recall. All right, so I'm going to open this one up separately so you can see it here. And then I'll go back and I will show you from the original. Okay, where was it? Here. So if you see, you could tell there was something strange happening. So whenever I see this, I typically know that there's going to be something slightly odd when it does the upscale. So if that's the case, I do a beta upscale redo, and it makes it closer to the original image that would have been here before. Okay, so this was the rerun of the hand concept sketch. It got better. So this one here improves with the number of fingers. So I'll upscale that one because I quite like that one too. Okay, so this was one that hadn't finished running. Okay, so here you see it's definitely a lot better. So again, you have there nicer hands happening on. So these were actually quite nice. I like those. So I'm going to upscale those. So I'll upscale 1. And it's 3. Okay, so again here it kind of did something with the fingers there. So I would try a beta upscale instead, because this is actually quite a nice image there. Okay, so which one is this one? This was finger study. This one did not do so great, but again, as usual, try and do a rerun, and it generally tends to improve on the next one. Okay, so static and gesture. All right, so not too bad. I did get the fingers for this one. So basically, that's it for the prompts that I use for the hands, and that's actually also how I get them to be with the character, to be with an actual character. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully that was helpful.